Alright, let's see. That thing is up. And then we're gonna start with my ambitious project. Little, how do you say that? Uh, Learning project, I would say. Alright, let's see. Okay, mic seems to work fine. Can enable desktop audio again, and then we could get things started. How is this working? I have no clue. How does that work? Properties. Ah, that's interesting. So if I do like this, we could hook up some music. Let's see. Show all. Okay. That doesn't seem to work. That seems to work though. I've only no clue how the audio is. Yes, okay, that works pretty fine. Okay, cool. And drop it a little for myself as well. Let's enable this slider a bit. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this project, but it's at least a learning thing. I'm building way more in GoLang recently, rather than Node or before PHP, but still use PHP for websites, and now a lot of Astro for static websites. I call it VoxelDB because I want to make it for my Voxel platform. Mainly want to connect if it works how I wanted to do for my Minecraft stuff. So I'm just gonna do this as an interesting project, see how far I can make it. Probably won't finish it. I use an existing database, like whatever. But you know, learning is never a bad thing. Understanding how databases work better is also a good thing. I do think I know what concept I want to go for, and it's Columnar. But we'll see. I want to implement tests and probably also using test containers for stuff. So let's see what we're going to do. Okay, so let's first get a thing started with cmd slash, how am I going to call this? Am I going to call it just db or main? I think we would just call this cmd voxel db slash main.go. And we'll start off with the package here and obviously the main function to get things started. Okay, so I have a couple things that I want to kick off first. Probably the TCP connection, and maybe we will look into building the event system, but because I want some listening things. So what I want to be doing is I want to be able to do like DB on event that create, and then maybe a func in here. But I also kind of want something like a how's it called? A filter, because you don't want to essentially listen to all the creates. You want to listen to one table. So maybe we could do something like this then. You could say table and then users. Create users and then the function with the record. And obviously I want a library in PHP maybe. But that would not be able to listen. Maybe it will. Not sure yet, but that's the ID. It's going to be a hard one. So, yeah. How am I going to do this? Let's think. We do want to set up some TCP server. I was thinking of using gRPC. That's pretty easy, I would say. Only I'm not sure how you could gRPC back to like if we have an event. Maybe gRPC allows for streaming, like the server-side events, but not sure if you want to do that. So I do think I want to just keep it TCP for now. So how we're gonna call it? We're just gonna call it connection or TCP. I think TCP is a little bit over too generic name in the whole thing. So I think we would just go with, let's see, call it server maybe, because it's essentially the server that you're connecting to. So that would be an option, I guess, in my opinion. You could always later refactor it. That won't be too hard, especially because of the whole module package, whatever you want to call it, design in Go. So let's just get it with call it server. I think that would be the best way to go. So we will just set up server.go, and then we split this off here, create that there. So we want to do something like server is server. Will that work? Listener maybe, and then we do like a new server, and then we need to set up the server, and then we do something like go listener start, and then that can run in an thingy go routine. Do not block everything. We need some logging. As some test, I think it was like this, right? Go test, server test then. But I'm not sure how that works. Let me quickly. Yeah, that was underscore test, so that's fine. And do we need to pass? No, that's just listening, and then it will receive all the queries, and authentication is mainly. Yeah, how are we gonna do that? No clue yet. So let's first kick off with a type. Server is a struct. Then we need the address that we're listening on. That will be a string. Then we need a port. That will be an int. And we do need something like a to-do config loading here as well. For now, we just hard code it right here. So let's do listen to all the network interfaces I have, and then we just do it on 137. Though TCP is really hard to debug. I have no clue how I'm gonna debug that stuff. They're not like, I don't think Postman or something like that has something in there for just raw TCP connections. I do have hopscotch. Let's see what that has included. I know you can see it. Real time, yeah, WebSockets, SSE, Socket.io, and MQTT. You cannot just bounce around with like plain, how's it called? TCP connections. But at the same time, WebSockets will be fine, right? Because PHP will understand it if needed. Node definitely understands it and can connect to it. Well, Go can connect to it. If you're writing a client. So that's actually not a bad idea to just hook it up to WebSockets. And then we can use Gorilla WebSockets. So that would also be a viable option, I think. And it makes it easier to debug using something like hopscotch and stuff. And you can send raw messages. So I do want to enable some binary messages. Maybe using something like, how's that called? Seaborg or something to compress it a bit. I think Seaborg compresses it out of the top of my head. That's going to be hard to debug here, but maybe we could just do like, you can send down, up and down a option to enable raw. So we could do that in the beginning. I think that will be an option. I do think that's going to be viable. Why? Oh yeah, we need to go mod init. I forgot about that. So go mod init. Let's for now do github.com. I'm probably gonna call this different later, but Vanni dash voxeldb for now. So that will allow us to actually import this one, and then we can create a function called new server and take in. I always need to stream. Yeah, okay. And then port int. So that works. And that will return a pointer to the server. Okay, so that's what we got. Let's see quickly in. I cannot share that because there are also other things on my screen. Gorilla Mux. I'll Google right now. No, it's not Mux. That's the HTTP thing. Gorilla WebSocket. I mean, yeah, better. They have a server example here. They create an upgrader. Oh yeah, you do need to have HTTP for that stuff, obviously. Where do they do the WebSocket stuff? Huh? Is that the Echo? I do think so. That's the Echo. So they do this, and they create an upgrader. Echo's the Echo. Huh? Where the fuck do they? That's the home. So that is this everything? Yeah, read message, and then they do stuff. Okay, cool. All right. Bab. Let's see. So that you need to connect to the IP/echo. It would be nice if I can pull up like a browser to read this in and be able to show it. Let's see. Do I have a extra full Firefox? I don't have Firefox or something. Let's quickly get Firefox installed so I can actually share that with you guys. Or the other one. Is this one available? No, that's still not up. Let's for now do Firefox. Because this will create a new server. Let's already return the server struct for now. Okay, Firefox is up and running. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, cool. Add. Firefox. Firefox.exe. Batch. Save executable. Capture. Okay, maybe I'll just make it like real small for now. Probably won't be easy. Won't be easy to read. I could increase it a bit. Hopefully that's readable. Let's see on the stream if that's a bit readable. Actually, I could already read it like this. Oh, no, I made it smaller. Yeah. Okay, that's unreadable, but whatever. It's more for the ID that you can see what I'm reading. Okay, so what they're doing is they're creating an upgrader. I think we could just hook up the upgrader and we can just drop it in here. That should be fine. And okay, I do need to zoom it out. That's way easier. Let's open up this. I think it's, yes, this one. And then we do directly go mod tidy. Okay, cool. So that's done. That will fix itself. Let's see. So we have the echo function that's going to be set to the HTTP stuff. And then the echo one. So that's going to be in the start function, I guess. And I think it was in a front. I always forget this when I do other languages in between. yes, that's gonna be here. So we can do serve. That's gonna be a pointer to the server. Yes, okay. Unified server.new server? What do you mean? Oh, I'm writing everything in the wrong file. Okay, cool. That's a thing for later. Now it should be fine. Yeah, cool. And then the echo was that, but then we do this here. And it's gonna be the... Can you host it on the same? I think so. Yeah, you can, I think. Because the address is gonna be that, and that will upgrade the thing. So, yeah, that will be fine. So that will be then a... let's... How do we call this? Full host? Or listen address. Let's call it like that. Okay, so what we do is we have then the address is going to be the address. And then the port is going to be... the port. And then the listen address is going to be an FMT sprint F. Format is %s %s. I don't know if that works in Go. I do know I think it works in Node, Java, and PHP to parse directly the integer as a string. But I think we need to do digit here. So we put in this one and that one. Okay, then we have that. We might want to do some checks. So for now, let's do if the port is lower or equal than 1000. Then we throw down a log.fatal. And that's gonna be cannot listen to a port lower than 1000. And I know with sudo you could, but let's not do that for this one. And with a simple check. What we also could do is another simple check for now. That's if address dot length is not a thing. Huh? I think you do it like this. Is equal to 0. Then we say logged up. I think logged up fatal automatically exits that. And I think we could directly test it with the test. So that's a good way to start testing. So that we say host address must be applied for now. We could make better log messages and also do like an error package for that. I actually like it like this. So how does this work? Function test creating new server. Could I wait? I want to see if that works. Create a test for the new server method in the context file. Does that work? Can we actually use 4.0 here? No. Okay. So, server. Does that work? I really wonder if it understands that. No. Okay. We should actually... Oh, we don't have a thing for that. So we could say here already server.listen address. How do we do test this? How can I test? I think I need to have that package, right? Testify. I did once a simple test thing, but Okay. Alright, I see that people are not using the fatal in testing because that could actually exit the process of testing, and then it's not getting tested properly. Um, okay, there's a testing package that you can do something like T is testing dot test. No, dot T was it? Was that? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Maybe we could do it differently and do the exit if there's an error in the main.go. So what we do is we do it like this. And then in case of this, then we return here errors. What is it? Errors.new? Yeah. This, and then we do nil. And this has to be lowercase, right? I thought so. And we drop this one here. This here, up. And then this is gonna be a nil here, and then like this. Okay, so what we could do is, okay, people do suggest for each of them to create a separate test. So test creating new server, and then like empty address, and then we make a new one. That's gonna be invalid port, I guess. And then we create a new server here. And that will be then setting up the new... It is in the same package. Why? Oh, because I gave you a different package. Right. So now we could do new server. It should be an empty address, so we make it empty. And then we create this 1338 because that's a valid port. So... I found this example how to do something like this, and this should be air indeed. And then for the other one we do the same, so we create something like localhost, and then we do like 999, yeah, like port 80, and then we check. Let's just copy this one. Okay, and then we, I think, run go test, right? Setup failed. No go files. Hmm. Gonna do it like this. This. No. Okay, how to test all Go files. Yes. Okay, 3 dots. I have never seen that. Fail. Okay. Okay, yeah, fair. Okay, so let's comment this out and then do it again. Yes. That's somewhat right, I would say. Okay, so what we could do, according to the docs, is we could do like something like this. Yeah, and then you should also be able to run the other one in there. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. And I do think recently, let's create a make file here and then do like a test. And then I think we should need a pony because there's no build output, and then we could do make test. Yes, that works. We could Google it here. GoLang, good test output. I think I saw recently a package somewhere to have a cleaner GoLang test clean output. So that's better readable because this shit is barely readable. Is it actually watch? No, okay. I think it's a Linux command. Well, let's see if I have it in my folder of bookmarks. Okay, not in my bookmarks. First, is it? Yeah, that might be it. No, this is not it. Testify. I think I recall that. I think I even mentioned this, right? Yeah, but this has nothing to do with the output. This looks much better. Let's go test them. Oh, Google Kubernetes even used this one. Okay, let's put it up in the other window so you can read along. This one. That looks like something we could actually use, I would say. I think that will work. Right? Yeah, that will work. Okay, cool. Let's see. How do we set this up? This looks much better. That's pretty clean output here. Boop, 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 boop. That's pretty clean. Summary. Okay. Output file in JSON. Is there getting started? Oh, cool. Install. Requires nerd phones, whatever. Oh, you need to install it as try to run it without installing. What does that do? Okay. Can we do then something like this? That looks pretty darn clean if you ask me. Okay, and you could do something like dash dash format, and then we have standard verbose. Standard dash verbose. That's what I want. Okay, but then it's not that clean anymore. Maybe test. What is it? Test name. That's default, right? Oh, no, package name. Test. Yes, that's perfect. Server is cached, passes. Yes, okay, so we want this. Okay. I should install it, but for now, we will... Why does it scroll so weird? What the hell? Okay, cool. But for now, we just do it like this. So we then do like make test. What do you mean? Was it add? Line 4. Yeah. I don't think that would do. Okay. How can we do this? Let's see if AI can fix it. These are the things I do not really want to spend time on. Yeah, but okay, cool. That's kind of weird, right? I do. Yeah, okay. So it assumes that you install it first. Well, it's not too weird, but can we ensure that is installed and installed? Def script for that. Sure the packages are installed. That would also help if we're gonna use air for testing. That would be nice. Okay, let's see if we quickly do this. I think I have that set up to go past stuff. Don't I have it? I do. How do we do that again? Like, there's something with an ad, right? Oh, wait. No, wait. Was it like this? And if I do it like this, does it work? Yes. Why doesn't this work? This is right, huh? Oh wait, is it really those tabs? No. It's probably the line ending. But how do I change the line ending in this editor? To be honest, I have no clue. what I could do is see what happens if I run it in make test. Yeah, okay, still same error. And then if we change it to LF, oh, it's still. Okay, so that didn't really fix it, sadly. These are the things I do not want to spend time on. Apparently, this is not a real tap. Okay, cool. But can I show? Can I do it in Z? Go character palette. Oh. Go. Okay, apparently this is not considered a real tap, but yeah, okay. This is a tap, right? Oh, now it highlights. Okay, it was the LF0LF, I think. I have no clue what it was. Okay, so then to ensure, I think it's run. Yeah, okay, cool. There we go. We made it. Okay, so they both passed, what's alright, because that's what we expected. Let's now create a another one. And then localhost 1337. And what we now expect is, I think we need that testify package, because then we can do a search and stuff, right? So go testify. I think this allows us to do asserting and stuff. Go testify. Yes, this does allow for a search. Yeah, okay, so I think we just grab this one and do go get up. And then we assert equal. Okay, so what we do is we put it on a test. And then we expect assert error for good for errors. Assert for nil. So assert nil, test, and an object. Oh, yeah. So we want that the error is nil, and then we want the let's see. Can you do something with structs? Object. Object. Now we know that the object isn't nil, so we're safe to make further assertion without causing any errors. Yes, this is what we need, I think. So what we want is then that SRV, and then we want the test equals something. Okay, so we want this to be then the SRV dot address, and then same for this one. We want that to be the port. And then we can remove this because we can wrap it, do it within this wrap, and then say the listen address. And then we can just make it like local host that. And then we can just test it again. Okay, that gives us errors. Missing goes so anyone for Spew? Who the fuck is Spew? The go get. Oh, do I need to get the... No, wait, I did that, right? Forget, yeah. Then make following package, that's to make following packages available to you. Yeah. Go mod tidy. Let's see if that does something. Okay, that did it. That's probably I needed to do with me and you. Okay, cool, but that worked. So we were able to test that made the whole server test pass. Cool. So that means we can continue area. And then we can do here if error does not equal nil, then we could do a log fatal. This is so much better. That was a good decision to do it like this. And then we want to handle this, I think. So we do something like SRV handle. And then we put it above there because that's how. So we say if SRV pointed to the server handle. So we do it like that. And that's probably not compliant with the footprint or whatever you got it, signature I should call it if you're a real nerd. And for now we could actually toggle off the browser for won't be too interesting. We already saw that I'm gonna use Gorilla and which example I had opened, so let's just grab that example and drop it in here. And then just drag. Oh, hello. Thank you. Okay, so we have the results writer request. And if that's an upgrade request, we upgrade it. Upgrade it. Apply. Fail to upgrade. Map. What do we do with that? Failed upgrade. Okay. Then we have a connection. I assume that's what the C is. And we defer that when this closes or when the connection loses, and then we keep reading for new messages. Rep message, rec fee. Okay, cool. So let's just air it. Okay, let's air in it. That would help us later down the line. But that's fine. But we're building here the CMD voxel DB. Sure. Error. Oh yeah, of course. Main.go. Okay. It exit with 0. Interesting. This won't exit with 0, right? Will it? Okay, let's try now do it manually. See what happens. I do think that's actually needed. Let's do it for now. To see if that works. And then later we should replace it with a wait group for also a safe shutdown. See? That worked. Cool. Let's see what the thing does. So it's gonna be localhost 1337 / and then connect. Origin not allowed. Okay, so we do get a callback when I do the hopscotch thing. So we can use hopscotch for actually doing things. So what we now do is we do instantly do the sync.wait group. Wait, it is sync, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then we say here wait group dot wait, and then here we do wait group dot add one for now. And that should keep it running as well. Yeah, I have to run air soon. And then we get the same thing again. If we do, we get the same thing again. Cool. So if we now run air, that should be fine as well. Then we get it once. And then we now do it again. We shouldn't get the prompt for the Windows thing. And then we call, we get the thing. Cool. Okay. So we've got a basic setup right now. But it's not able to upgrade due to some origin stuff. So copy that. Then we enable the browser again. And then we open up the browser. And then we just drop it in there. Of course, we could ask AI, but who cares? Okay, so we should be able to put this in a toml. So for now, let's look up an examples channel folder. Config.example.toml. So we have the server, and then we have the address. That's gonna be like this. Then we have the port. That's gonna be like this. Localhost. And then we have the origins. That's gonna be. I think that's an array is allowed, right? Yeah, that looks like it. Test localhost, whatever. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do later on. And then for now, we have a upgrader check origin. Okay, let's just copy this real quick. That seems same. Oh. For con blah 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 blah. Effect the declaration found upgrader. But I need to do it like here. Okay. That's fine, I guess. Returns a bool, and I actually do want. Okay. So let's see if that thing now actually connects. Yes, we are connected. I see my hopscotch, so that's good. Don't stop streaming. I just want to hide my Firefox. Oh, I don't think it was actually showing, was it? No, it wasn't. I just wanted the whole Firefox to be shared. Okay, well, there it was. Whatever. That's kind of weird. Anyway, let's continue. It wasn't that interesting because we added this thing, and then within the examples here, we have added this for later checking. I do think we could do like a, for real quick, is a print line. You know, like r.origin or something? Quest headers.origin? Host? What is that? Is that the origin? Yeah, I do think so. Maybe not. Whatever. Gonna be coming back. Let's do a to-do and make an add config. So we know we need to configure this. And that's the same for, well, those, but they should be done here as well. So let's add that comment here. Oh, I closed the file. Cool. You can close this. Okay, so we have the basic setup. We could connect, and then we're in. And then I could also send a message. If I now do this and then do like Control Enter, we read it and then we get it back immediately because we're echoing here. So this part should be left out. Though I do want to add a log here, and that is going to be a info. Is it S log then that allows for log levels and stuff? Yes. Cool. And we're gonna do connected client for now, and then we're gonna break out this, and then for now the MT. What does MT stand for? What do we get back? Message type. What could be the type? What the fuck is a message type? Honestly, no clue. We should Google that later down the line. Okay, rec fees, then what we read. Okay, so we do have the message now. But now the client is not authenticated nor anything. So we could just send something like connect, info client connected, and then we then say select everything from users. We could send that, and then we get here select everything for users, and then I only send out the message that. Okay, so what I now want, I think, I'm not sure how this is done. I might do some research on it, but I'm just going off how I want to engineer it now, because it's a learning project. Is each message should get their own, how do we say that? ID. So if there's a response coming back, you know for which message it was. So you could do like some async handling. I have only no clue how we're gonna do that. So let's first handle down the clients. So I think the best way we can do that is do like a server client. Let's just call it client for now. Then call it a struct. And then each server will have a clients list. That's an array of client. And then when we create the struct, here, we do clients, and it should be a make. And we can do client, right? What is it again? Fuck. Normally it just auto completes. Then I'm getting lazy. Is it then like this? Wait, let's see. GoLang make array instruct. It's make, right? Let's see. Or can you do... I thought I was always using make. Or is it like this as well? I'm not sure. No, we'll figure it out quite quickly. Because if this doesn't work, you will get a nil pointer. Because this is not initialized. It's a slice yet. Or an array. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. So that means if we have here connected channel. I think... Because what we're getting back here is an... Yeah, WebSocket con. So what we could do is we could do here is the client con is going to be a websocket.con, and it's going to be a pointer. So let's give it a pointer. And then here, no, here we do the srv dot clients dot append a new client. So we do oh yeah, we want this to be pointers because hey, you don't forget. Then we go here again, and then we say that's new client, where the con is gonna be the C. Why is this a problem? There must be a slice. Oh yeah, right. Elements, yeah. So that should be right, huh? Let's see. Oh. Yeah, that should. Yes. Be like this, right? Or is it still like this? Okay, let's say so we have a new client. That work. Cannot use new client variable struct type client as client value argument to append. Yeah, but that's what we're doing, right? Oh wait. Right. I cannot find my star sign. There we go. Then we do like that. It's not you. Value of type is not used because it does return the same thing. So do we then say like srv clients and okay, that seems fine. But why didn't I just drop it like this? Does it now work? Yeah, okay. It was only because the last time I did the stupid thing. Low. Let's see what we could. I think we should be able to have a list of clients. It allows us also to later down the line fire up the events, the real-time events to the clients. You might want to also then register which ones do they listen to. You don't want to shoot it off like crazy because if you use it internally, you will get a lot of internal traffic. But that works. I have no clue why I added that again. Oh, yeah, because we wanted to do authentication. So here we're going to handle everything. But how? How are we going to parse those commands? So what commands are we going to handle? Something like auth. And then messenger. So we can do messenger raw or CBOR, where CBOR is default, so you just switch it by messenger raw. But if you want to do in between go back to CBOR, you can do that as well. And then here we have something like a username token, or well, it's not really a token anymore. It's more a password at that point. Or you just, why not just a token? That's fine, right? If you want to do like permission-based things, you can still assign the stuff to the token, the permissions. So I do not see the upside of running down a username and password, because username and password essentially makes up a token that allows you to authenticate, right? So that are things we need to hard code, and then everything else are not commands. So that will be select. Well, we could consider that as a command, even though it's an SQL query. That would say. That would work as well. I do think I'm going to use the VTest parser. Because it's also already written in GoLang. And I don't need to parse SQL myself because it's a pain in the ass. So I think this will actually be fine. Okay, so for now, let's do this. Okay, let's go to the client. And then we do is authent. Bool. You would say you add the token here, but I think that's really insecure because if you have a memory leak, people will be able to grab that token. Won't be that common, but if we know it's authored, it's already authored. So why store that token? Yeah, to check permissions, but we could load in the permissions here when the time is there, I think. But for now, we're not going to deal with permissions. We're just going to stick with his authored. Okay, so what we do, I think if the user is not authored and the message does not start with auth or no, with not auth, because messengers are only allowed after authentication. We're going to do that. Alright, quickly we're WhatsApping. I think GoLang does not have a starts with function, right? Because hey, oh, string has prefix. Okay, cool. So if the Ooh, how do we do that? Do we have access? Okay, we do have access to the WebSocket. So then it might be actually interesting to call this client. I don't know if this actually works like this. What if we do it like this, right? And then you say here client dot is author is authored? Oh yeah, okay. This author is false. We could even implement WebSocket directly, so you can directly do client.write and stuff without even needing to go via con. That's pretty nice, I would say. I think that would make the code really fucking clean. Okay. So if it's not authored, undefined client. Why? Undefined client? Huh? Client is pretty defined, right? Oh, yeah, right. If it's not authored, then we break, I think. And I do want to have this, like, right. Oh, what? Like, right, and then, like, this. So now it means we can add this one again. And I think we're going to just add that function to the client, right? Yes, the right client. Okay, so that will be like this, and then client, right? Oop. Oop. That would do what? Huh? Am I missing something? What am I? Oh yeah. Okay. Sure. So that means we copy this logic down here real quick. So we can clean that up and then reuse it here. And then gc.con. And then we can see what's in there. So that was the message type. That's an int and then the data. Okay. And I think, well, this message already in bytes. Yeah, okay, cool. But we will just do it differently. So we would just call this then type int, and then we do message string, and then we do this like this. Oh, type is probably reserved keyword, so then message type. And then we do here the byte wrapper. Huh? That's possible, right? Undivided, yes. Because you're not in the for loop again. Wow, we would just break it there, so that's fine. If error is nil, then we want to do an slog. I know if slog. Does slog have a fatal? With only info log. Okay, let's for now just do info. Can we write error? No, of course not. Failed to write. Which? Alright, let's finish up in 10 minutes, and tomorrow I'll probably do it again. Can we do it like this? Oh, that says it's working. Cool. So we're not authored. So that means if I now connect, I can connect and then send something. I get an empty message back. And I'm getting disconnected. Filter right key, bad key nil. Eh? That doesn't work. That clearly does not work. Okay. So why doesn't that work? We have the connection, and then we have the stuff there. Filter right message. Yes, so it did fail here. Yeah, I'll do that later. Wait, I can just write it as error. That's better. I'll just send it again. Connect, send. Okay, still nothing. That should work. See what we didn't get. Connect, send it. Okay. An error is nil, huh? Oh wait, that means there was no error. I'm stupid. Oh yeah, and we are writing an empty message, so that's right. Client not authorized. And then if we connect it, send. Client not authorized is coming back just now. Okay, cool. That really works well. Okay, that means we have to implement CBOR and authentication. For now, the authentication is going to be fairly easy, I guess, because we're going to just hard code it. And then later we can move it to something like the config toml, and then we need to create a reload command, and then we need to have the users. Okay, so that's how we do that. We have users. How does that work again? Is it like users.name? So for example, I'm called Joe or Vanni, and then we say that token is something. Whoop whoop, and then we have permissions or something. Or let's call it scopes. You have scopes reload. Or something. And what if you want to do something like read. Because you also want to be able to read databases and stuff. I have no clue how we're going to do that. Okay, but for now, let's just keep it like that. Okay, so let's do... if client is not authored, then we do that. But this will also reject the auth message. So if client is not authored, and the... what was it? Strings that has prefix? So message... has the prefix auth, but then does not have it. And then the message, I'm gonna call this also message bytes. And then we do var message is a string. I don't need the var in front of it actually. It's gonna be this. Okay, so if I now send something, connect, and then send, we're getting not authorized. But if it's this is gonna be auth, then it just got gone through. Wait, is it every message? Oh, okay, cool. Cool. That worked. Yes. And so if it is an auth message, then we're gonna catch it here, and then we do auth process here, and let's break it for now. For now, then we just say we grab this token, and then we say, now we need to split it actually. So we should make, yeah, we do have a parser for the v-test stuff for the queries. Let's try to just do it like this. CMD is then this, and then message dot split based off a space, and then if CMD 1 equals this, then does not equal. Then we say to the client, we write empty wrong message of wrong token, and else, and then we break it, because then we should not continue, and then if we should here put the client to auth it. So then we go into the server, then get the clients, get the client. Oh, damn. Yeah, but we don't know who the client is now, because it's on the map. And we should say is authored is true. But because it's on the map, we're not able to reach that client here. The client should become a map. Okay, a map. And then we do it based off string. Then we give the client an ID, I guess. We could use something called nano IDs. We do have snowflakes, I think. I do not know if that's gonna be the one you want. GoLang. I think we would just go with the Go Nano ID. I think that would serve us perfectly fine. A few weeks ago. They're very small. RSXID, so we're going with that for now. Let's open up a new terminal, get that package. Then we... Ooh. Oh, that's pretty cool, though. So if we create a new client, we're here. Then we go do this. Then we make the client. Let's do that first. And what is that? Can we import that package, please? Hello? Okay, so that creates a new ID. And the raw length is going to be 12 in binary. It even uses things like your machine and stuff. That's pretty dope. It's more like a GUID, right? Oh, well, yeah, it's also called GUID. Yeah, here. That's pretty dope. Okay, so what we do, I think we're going to just rawly embed it in there. And then just take the string of that in the map. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do map string this. And then we do here like the ID. Cool. I don't think this one has an ID or something, right? Does it? Oh, okay. Does it have some mutexes? That's useful. I can even see if it's server or not. Okay, cool. So we have done that. That means here we can just pass in that GUI, right? Yes. And then this is going to be something like GUID.string is client. And then here, do we need to do it like this then? I think so. And then I think we're good. Oh wait, yeah. Here we need to have then the GUID. Let's see if we can do client.string. Ah, okay. I'm not sure if I like that. No, I do not like that. So we're gonna refactor it to ID. And then put that one as ID. And then we can do here the ID.string. When we now connect, we are connected. And we then now do auth empty, wrong token. Oh, but you are disconnected when you do a break. That's not what I want. Can we do then? What happens if you do a return? Or wait, no, a continue. Maybe that will do. So connect. Sent the wrong token. Yeah, sent wrong. Yes. Okay, cool. We do need to do some tests for this. We now do this. Then we auth. We get that message. The client should be in there. So if we now send messenger and send it, we get send messenger. If we disconnect, send and send messenger, we get a client not authorized. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. Okay, so what we should do is figure out how we can tomorrow make those tests to ensure the authentication is right. So let's do a to-do here for tomorrow. Test authentication and flow. So already create a couple placeholder functions. Test well, not being authenticated means you cannot test messaging. So let's do see if we can do test test client server authentication or something like that. Test messenger style. Okay, so last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add here the messenger style. So we do the style, we call it, and then we do the string. But I think we could call the string like messenger. Why can't I not write messenger style? And then what do we do? How does that work again? You could make a const. How does that work again? Let's quickly see. GoLang. You can make a const and then say that the type is something like that. Was it like, what was it again? You do like type messenger. Style is Something like that, but that's probably um it was like an enum like thing. What was it called? So you have a type called server state. Okay, so type messenger style is a string. And then you create a const. And that was then the ones that you would have. So that's then like Cbor is Cbor. And then you have like raw is raw. And then we could say here, when you create the client, we do like a messenger style. And that is then like raw or Cbor. Yes, okay, so you could say messenger style Cbor, messenger style raw. Not sure if that's the way to go here, but for now that works. Okay, and then when you're connected, you should do like Cbor and encryption and stuff also for authentication. But for easiness, because it's a learning project, for now we just do it like this. So if it's authored, we do that. And then we also say that the messenger style will be. Oh. And that's going to be messenger style Cbor from there on. Okay, so that means tomorrow we can write the tests. Ensure this is all working. Also check if the following messages are not Cbor, and if that Cbor stuff is working, we could continue with parsing the array stuff or the fetus stuff. And if we have that, that means we're left off to creating a config. And when we have a config, then the real start is going to start, because then we need to write a storage engine and all that good stuff in order to make this work. But first, I think we're going to work on then the other stuff. So tomorrow first, we're going to do the testing of auth, testing of message style change. Then we're going to implement the message style switcher. That also relates to above. Then we do Vitess SQL parser. And if we that have done, we have the base server done. Base server done. What we do then is we're going to add the config stuff. So config loading, and if we have that done, we're gonna look at the event bus. That's also we're gonna be responsible for the events, the real-time events. So that's the things we have left over for tomorrow. Hopefully we can get through it. I hope to start at like 10 tomorrow, so I have a little bit of extra time there, maybe even 9:30 or something. No, I think it will be 10, and then we're gonna see if we can make this, because if we have this in. Okay, I don't think we have the message bus, the event bus done tomorrow. But this should be doable at least. And then we have a good base to continue and learn about columnar storage and that kind of stuff. So that's going to be it.